A tough day for Westerville police officers called to the witness stand to describe the day that two of their fellow officers were shot and killed. Thanks for joining us for NBC4 at 5. I'm Mark Taylor.
And I'm Darlene Hill. This was the first day of testimony in the murder trial of Quentin Smith.
Now, Smith is accused of shooting officers Anthony Morelli and Eric Joring while they were responding to Smith's apartment on a 911 hang-up call.
NBC4 reporter Ted Hart is covering the trial and joins us now live from the courthouse. Ted.
8 witnesses today on this first day of testimony in the trial, many of them describing in somewhat emotional detail what they witnessed on that day, February 10th, 2018, when they responded to the scene. Former Westerville police officer Timothy Ray testified he was covering the back of the apartment building when officers Morelli and Joring went to the front door. Then he heard the exchange of gunfire.
And as I was going past the first apartment, another shot went off.
Officer Ray says inside he found the defendant, Quentin Smith, and his 2 fellow police officers all down.
I started to attend to Officer Joring, and I couldn't do anything for him. Officer Morelli was yelling, he was hit. So I moved over to him real quick.
Ray says that he held a gun on Quentin Smith until more help arrived, adding that Smith, who also had been shot, kept trying to move. Stacy Pentecost was one of 3 officers who arrived a couple minutes later.
Officer Morelli was laying on the floor, holding himself up by his elbow. He looked up at us.
After helping to secure the inside of the apartment, Officer Pentecost went back to Officer Morelli's side as medics were trying to save his life.
And I held Tony's hand. And I moved to the front of Tony to get out of the way of the medics to his head, and I put my hand on his forehead.
And tomorrow, the defendant's wife, Candace Smith, is expected to take the stand to testify. She made that 911 hang-up call and then called back and told dispatchers that her husband had shot the officers. Local for you and live at the courthouse, Ted Hart, NBC4.
Hard day out there on the court stand for those officers. Thank you so much, Ted.